Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for No Country for Old Men. It's a movie starring Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, and Javier Bardem, along with some other people you'll see. So, this movie came out in 2007, and what I will say is that if you liked There Will Be Blood, you'll probably like this movie. This movie is 2 hours and 2 minutes, but man, it feels like 3 hours, but not in a terrible way, just in a like, wow, okay, this is getting long, but you're still wanting to see what happens. So it's not, yeah, it's yeah. I don't know how else to say that. Is that just it's 2 hours long? It feels like it's 3 hours, but you're still interested in what is occurring. So I guess I just repeated myself. Whatever. Point is that if you like There Will Be Blood, and the fact that like in that movie you're like, okay, there will be blood. That is a badass title for a movie, and you see the like oil rig thing as the whatever, and you're just like, oh, are they gonna say it? Is there gonna be blood? Like, what is the thing? Like, that is such a weird but interesting and engaging title for this thing. Same thing with this one. No Country for Old Men. There Will Be Blood, in my opinion, while interesting, doesn't really make sense in that the title. Just like with this one, No Country for Old Men, like you have to be like a film avant-garde guru to really look deeper into the underlayers of the movie to really understand why this movie is titled and why that movie is titled the way it is. So just don't worry about that title. Point is that this is set in the 80s, like early 80s, I think. If you do some basic math, when Javier Bardem's character says a coin thing, you'll be able to figure it out. But anyway, I think it's set in the 80s. And Javier Bardem is like a psychopath killer dude, and Josh Brolin is a dude who's just possibly came across a large amount of money. And Tommy Lee Jones is a sheriff of a small town who is in over his head and realizes it and just wants the fuck out. So there's a lot of layers to this. Like this movie, there's almost no music whatsoever. Like it's even pointed out in the trivia just how little music there is, and you really feel it, especially when Javier Bardem's character is on screen, like with the creepy like wackadoo haircut thing. So what it kind of reminded me of is if you've seen, I think it was A History of Violence, where it opens on these two dudes and they're coming out of a hotel or going to a convenience store, and just how the shot tracks, just like the deliberate slowness and like almost no cuts for that whole engagement to just really establish how psychotic and calm in the craziness, like how psychotic those two characters were and the shit that they were doing, and how they're just like it's like they were picking up like going for a gallon of milk at the grocery store or something, and just the shit that they were doing. Same thing with how Javier Bardem's character acts and is treated, in my opinion, with just like the level of crazy and skill that is involved with him. So I really enjoyed the like coin flipping thing with the convenience store person. Like that scene is why I have rewatched this movie more than once. But this pacing is not for everybody, and it annoys me to no end every time I watch this film that like if Josh Brolin had just kept fucking money and not gone back there to put it back or to see whatever else, like if he had just, because he was parked and then walked a long ass way, got that, walked another long ass way to see where that guy was at, and then walked another long ass way to get back to his truck, and then drove along, like I feel like it would have been fine. I feel like things would have gone well because he would have, and this is definitely spoiler territory, so skip ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want spoilers. So spoiler, if he had just opened the money, he would have found the transmitter thing and just broke it. There you go. He would have been fine. But instead, he gets a guilty conscience, whatever, to go bring it back, and then all that shit comes on top of it. So, anyway, done with the spoiler stuff. Now, this movie does a really good job of establishing characters without having to have a whole lot of dialogue coming out of them. Like, Tommy Lee Jones' character, you've seen Tommy Lee Jones in movies. He does that type of character well, and he does it excellent in this one. Although a lot of times in his other movies, he is like the guy in charge, and in this one, yeah, he's the guy in charge of the small town, and he realizes when like shit's too crazy for him, and he came here to like have a nice calm retirement, to be like the head guy to help us, but nope. This is beyond him. Nope. He's done. He wants to live. uh, so yeah, and then just the stuff that Josh Brolin's character goes through with this. Yeah, it's a lot of tense stuff of like a cat and mouse sort of game. Is he going to escape? Is he not going to escape? Who's going to get him? Who's not going to get him? That sort of thing. I will say that the very end, I think is satisfying, but the last 20 minutes or so, like this movie, it doesn't really have an ending other than with one character. The other characters, it's just kind of like, either I disagree with that, or you would have liked a little bit. You would have liked to have seen things on screen for some of them and how things happened. So yeah, it's good, but at the same time, I understand the artistic decision to do some things off screen, and yeah, so this movie it's great for a rewatch and to see and to just leave you with feelings that you're puzzled about and what your thoughts are, and this movie gives you time to think because of just how slow the pacing is, but also the tenseness of as things go along. So I don't really want to spoil anything else, but it's a good movie, but you have to be in the right mindset where you want a slow like movie that says a lot about how you are, how the society is, how things are in this time frame, how they can apply here, how people react to things differently, and what can be done. Like there's a lot of layers to this movie, so I get why it's popular, but I also can see why many people don't like this movie. So just go in there, go watch this movie with an open mind. If you're in the right mood set, it'll be a good movie for you. Yeah, obviously really pretty vistas. It looks like they shot a lot of this outdoors, and the acting is obviously you got Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem and frickin' Tommy Lee Jones, who are all excellent actors and have demonstrated a capability to really impart a lot with just the face, and they do an excellent job with this. So, and I hadn't seen Javier Bardem in anything before the first time I saw this movie, so I was just like, oh wow, why does this guy get a starring role? But like, this is quite good. And then I think after that he was a James Bond villain and some other stuff. So he's done well from. Oh, he was also in that Pirates of the Caribbean movie that was not the best one, but not because of him. So anywho, point is, I like this movie. You might like this movie. It depends on your mindset, mood, everything else. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.